It is Ashley Quinn, and I am here today to talk to you about Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Season 3, Episode 64, Bye Bye Love. But before we get into it, make sure that you click the like button and hit subscribe. I'm going to give you a moment to do so. So our first couple, of course, is Gabby and Chris. And we pick up with Gabby, and she's letting us know that she's back working at the strip club as a bottle girl. She also wants us to know that Chris would not appreciate that because he's the very jealous type and he wants her all to himself. But Gabby lets us know as well that she's basically run through all $60,000 and she needs some income coming in, right? Gabby is talking to her coworker who appears to be the bartender at this strip club, and she's letting us know that she doesn't really trust what Chris' mom is saying and that there's so much going on. And I'm just like, girl, if that woman's lying to you, then she's lying to you. Oh, well, what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Apparently, there's clearly more to the situation than you know. And, like, I can't even lie. Like, Gabby's annoying. And I hope he is cheating on you. I hope that he's done with you. And, like I said, I don't like the way she talked about his mom. So I'm really over Gabby. And whatever happens to Gabby, happens to Gabby. And I kind of feel like she brought it on herself. We also find out while she's talking to the coworker that Chris has basically cheated on her, and I don't understand how somebody in jail cheats on you. I mean, unless it's with somebody else in jail with them. But I guess he was talking to his ex-girlfriend, and her name is Shannon. So we hear a conversation between Chris and Shannon. And Chris is basically laughing at the fact that Shannon is saying, oh, Gabby is your wife, and she has your name tattooed, and this, that, and the other. And Chris is really like, haha, yeah, nah, that ain't it, and whatever. So basically, Gabby lets us know that they had got into it over this girl before. And like I said, I hope he is seeing her. And the way that he was talking to old girl on the phone, it almost sounds like, you know what I'm saying? He's probably playing both of them, for all we know. Gabby, we then see that she's leaving work, and as she's leaving work, she gets on the phone, right? And I'm thinking to myself, wow, is she calling Chris? But no, she's calling somebody else, and she's basically calling to let them know that she wants to meet up with them and that they're going to end up meeting up tomorrow, but we never find out who this mystery man is. So I guess we have to tune in until next week. So our next couple that we have up to get out the way is we're going to talk about Max and Tara. So as we know, Tara is out and basically she's ghosted Max, and good for her, right? Because I don't know, something about Max is just super annoying, right? He's with his friends and they're at a restaurant, and he's, letting them know that he's ready to move on from Tara, and that, maybe she just needs time to get herself together and to get readjusted to society because, it couldn't possibly be him or his boring conversation about himself and his muscles and everything great that he does, right? No, not at all, right? And it probably also wasn't the fact that he's shaped like this. Now that picture is Max actually walking away from with his friends. He leaves the table, he goes downstairs, he goes all the way down the block to talk to this person on the phone. And this person is his new prisoner, right? We don't find out the new prisoner's name, but what we do find out is that she's from Vegas, she's around his age, and that she too is a sex worker, so they kind of have a lot in common. She begins to let him know that she's in prison or she's in jail awaiting trial for a high-profile case, and she really wants him to hear from her what she's done. However, every time she gets ready to tell him, the phone hangs up. She calls back, the phone hangs up again. So we're kind of left on this cliffhanger about what she's done. But if you are interested in finding out who this woman is, it is definitely circulating online and around these YouTube streets. And I hear that what she's in jail for or what she's on trial for is nothing too nice. But we'll go ahead and we'll see what happens, right? So on to the next couple, and this couple, or half of this couple, is very much so disappointing me right now. Santiba girl, I really wanted to like you. Like, I totally wanted to like you, right? But now, I'm not so sure. We pick up with her, and she's at the house, and Chelsea calls. Basically, she keeps telling us how she's going to get him and going to go pick him up, even though he specifically told her that is not what he wants, and that he wants to wait until he's free and clear of all obligations to the state before pursuing a further relationship with her. But she's hard-headed. She doesn't listen. She is really getting ready to go from Maine to Florida to Georgia to go get this man and to take him to a halfway house, right? After that, we see that her mom comes over, and you can tell right away that her mom is not interested in what's going on. We also find out that over the past 8 months, she's given this man money, right? A couple of thousands of dollars is what she actually says. And her mom is just like, and I'm right there with moms, because Santiba, Are you crazy? You've known this man for less than a year, and you've already given him a couple of $1,000s. And I look at it like this: if you're saying you gave him a couple of $1,000s, I feel like you probably gave him close to $5,000, because you don't want to admit the truth to your mom. Because, like I said, Santiba is really giving off immature. Everything her mom says, she has like a snarky comment. Well, I love him and I'm going to do it. And this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, your mom's just looking out for you. And you can also tell that her mom knows that, like, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Now, what really, really pissed me off, and it clearly pissed moms off too, is the fact that Santiba's giving this man money, this man that she doesn't even know. However, she's been having a hard time financially, and her mom has been having to help support her. So her mom is like, so I'm giving you money and you're giving my money to a prisoner, but you can't even pay me back? And I'm with moms. It's ridiculous, girl. You need to grow up. Like I said, she's very immature, and she's just out here living she's not in reality, right? She's over, like Dalton's dad said, she's living in a world of delusion. And it's just really sad to see, especially at Santiba's big age. And like I said, I really wanted to like her, but I don't think I can. Next up, for people that I don't think I can like, we also have Haley and Dalton. So Haley's segment starts by letting us know that she lies to Dalton about what she does and where she's going, because he's very jealous and he's very controlling. And, you know, to me, I'm just like, wow, that sounds like a really great relationship. Like, so healthy, so positive, right? Not. Anyway, we find out that Haley is going to go out tonight. So basically, that's what she's on the phone lying to Dalton about. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, does she have a date or something? Because she proceeds to tell us how she would describe herself as promiscuous and how she enjoys sex and yada, yada, yada. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, she's going out on a date. She might be going out to go get her some, right? Since she hasn't had any in a long time, and that it's so hard to stay loyal and faithful in that department. But she's been doing it, and she's been making it happen, I guess, for the past 8 months. And so then we find out that she's going to go meet up with her friend from work, Emily. So Emily basically asks her, you know, how long has it been since she's been out? And she says like 7 months, which is almost as long as she's been talking to Dalton. And here's where we find out that Emily actually has good sense, because Emily is like, so how is this person controlling you from in jail? How are they basically keeping their foot on your neck? And Emily's just like really confused. And Emily was like, so if I was actually sitting here telling you all of this stuff, what would you say? And Haley actually had enough sense to be like, well, I would tell you it was stupid and blah, blah, blah. So then you know. So you know, right? And you just can't. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. And then Haley also proceeds to let us know that she feels that all of their issues will go away once he's released. And I'm just like, girl, bye. Like, gone, get from around me, get out my face with that shit. Because, girl, it's not going to change. Like, he's not going to change. It's not going to change. And you're a delusional person if you think that things are going to get better. Things are absolutely going to get worse for you, child. Goodness gracious. We skip ahead in her story, and then we see her meeting up with her mom and her son Hendrix for s'mores. And at this point, this is where I noticed that she talks very slow. And so, I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't think she's playing with a full deck or something. But, you know, her mom, Camille, is completely not feeling the situation. Dalton calls while they're out. And like I said, they're enjoying a family moment. The man lights the pit. They're going to make s'mores together as a family. And Haley just gets up and leaves to take a phone call from her prison boyfriend, right? From her felon boyfriend, leaving her son and her mom at the table. So when she answers the phone, for whatever reason, she decides to come clean to this man about lying about where she was last night. And when I tell you that he acted like an abuser, he completely acted like an abuser. And if you don't believe me, check this out. and then he proceeds to hang up in her face, okay? So now she comes back to the restaurant, and this girl is just living in a fantasy, right? She comes back, she lets him kill the spirit, kill the vibe. Like, everybody can tell, like I said, your son can even tell, like, that the energy in the room has changed. And you don't even care. All you care about is Dalton and what he's going through. And basically, your mom is trying to talk some sense into you, even in front of the kid. And she was like, I don't know. I just really love him. And even her kid is sitting there shaking his head no. And it's just a bad situation. And Haley's a moron. And Dalton's seems to be an abusive user. And this girl just really needs to get out and get some help, get some self-esteem, and do better. And even if you can't find another man, whatever, girl, just focus on raising your son. You have a beautiful child. Work on that. Because, girl, And speaking of morons with children, up next we have Indy and Harry. Indy. So apparently it's moving day, right? They're going to Ohio. Indy is packing up the truck, and Miss Yolanda shows up to help. And we find out that she's moving to Ohio with no place to live and no job. So essentially she's going out there broke and homeless. What a great way to start this situation off, okay? And she's sitting there and she's explaining to her mom, and her mom is just like, girl, you have no plan at all. And Indy's just sitting there with this look on her face. It's the face of desperation. That's all I can. Because, girl, what are you doing with your smile child? Like I said, if you want to go and uproot yourself with no job, no money, no prospects, great. Do that. But don't take that child with you. What are you doing? Girl, oh my God. It just, Indy, no. So we also find out that her brother and sister are going. They're going to help drive the U-Haul. They're also going to take Indy's car. And so they're on the road. Now, while they're on the road, Harry gives them a call from from prison to let them know that he's going to be out by Tuesday around 9:30ish, but that he also has to go to the halfway house. So he's not really even getting out. Indy wants to be there just in case he can have those like half-day visits or whatever the hell they do with a halfway house. I don't know, but this girl is basically uprooting herself and her daughter on a whim, on a possibility, on what could happen. And it's just so mind-blowingly crazy, right? And Indy is just really all about Indy and what Indy wants.
This move definitely involves sacrifices, and if that involves making my family unhappy to take this move, then oh well, they're just gonna be sacrificed because I'm taking my ass to Ohio.
Just selfish, immature, and dumb as a rock. They're in the car. Indy's mom is basically letting her know, like, I have some stuff to let you know about Harry and some things that you need to know. And Indy's like, well, you can tell me now, just tell me. And Miss Yolanda's like, your child's in the back seat. I really don't think she needs to hear this. And that's just more to the point of Indy doesn't have good sense. Indy's not responsible. Indy's not mature. Indy doesn't make good decisions. Indy doesn't know how to read the room. Indy's a recipe for disaster, basically, okay? So when they basically get there, they get to a rest spot or a gas station or something, and Indy's sister takes the baby inside. And so now Miss Yolanda proceeds to show her Harry's charges, what he's in for, and the brother is just like, what? And Indy, because she knows everything and she has it all figured out, even though she does not have anything figured out. She has it all figured out, and it's going to be fine. And as long as it's not domestic violence, it doesn't matter. People can change. He was a different person, and blah, blah. He was only 20 when he went in. Girl, yes, he's a child then, and he is still a child now. And basically, mentally, so are you. I feel like she has the mental capacity of a 13-year-old, maybe, possibly. Could be. It's just, it's all bad, right? So, and you can just tell how disappointed her mom is. Now comes the crazy part, right? They get to the hotel. And the hotel, oh my. What? And you have a child, you're gonna have your child staying in there. That place looks gross, okay? It looks like you're for sure coming out of there with like hepatitis. definitely coming out of there with something. It's nasty. It's probably roaches. They're probably rats. Oh my girl. And I can't talk about, well, that's all I have in my budget. Well, then you need to go back home because this is ridiculous. You know, next we see her and she's outside and she's saging because of all this bad energy.
I need to sage myself to get rid of all this negative energy. I feel like my mother and my brother are ganging up on me. It's just like, I know this is bad.
Really? That's how you're saging? That's what you're doing. That's how you're cleansing yourself. That's how you're cleansing the bad energy. If that's how you do it, then I understand why you have the problems that you have in your life. Because girl, Indy can't get right from that movie Life, because she just can't do nothing right. Okay, she can't even light the sage and cleanse the area and smudge the area properly, right? Indy is a freaking trip, okay? Now at this point, she's calling Aniris, and Aniris is like, oh yeah, you know, this is what happens in spirit. We'll test you first and this, that, and the other. And here's the thing. I completely agree about the universe and spirit testing you before you actually receive what you want. But a test, it would not put you in danger. A test would not put your child in danger. This is not a test. This is a mess. And girl, you in danger, and you need to get you, your mama, your sister, your brother, your daughter, and get your behinds back to Maryland, because this is a whole mess. And these Love During Lockup people are crazier. I don't know who's crazier, them or the 90-Day Fiance people, but that's a whole nother discussion too, right? So next up, speaking of crazy and discussions, right, we have Ty and Hottie and BB. So when we pick up with Ty, she's talking to her boss about her date with, I believe his name was Angel, and lets him know they had a first kiss. And, you know, her boss just, I think he kind of wants to see her with like normal people, you know, free people as well. And of course, Ty is really not having any of it. And then the phone rings and it's Hottie. So now they're, you know, he's telling her, oh, I don't know what's up with this Boston girl. I don't know why she's tripping. I don't know this. I don't know that, the other. And to myself, I'm thinking, bruh, you're the reason Boston has Ty's phone number in the first place. Period. I don't care what she chooses to believe, what you choose to spill. Homie, you in the middle of it. You are dead smack center in the middle of this situation. And you are the one that is causing this drama. I almost feel like, are they having a bidding war? Like, maybe if I pay him more and if I pay him more. Like, it's really some weird, it's weird going on. But I guarantee, Hottie, he's dead smack in the middle of this, okay? So then they start to talking, and like I said, this conversation, you can tell he's shady because it goes from, you know, I don't know why Boston's tripping, to, you know, we've been friends, well, you know, we have been friends for 12 years, to, you know, well, me and her did have sex like 4 years ago, and then she gave me, you know, her stimulus. So like the story with him and her just keeps, the more he talks, the more like things he's adding on that is showing like, this girl probably does think that she's your girlfriend, right? And like I said, clearly she has access to stuff, because how else would she have gotten Ty's phone number? How else would she even have known to get into contact with Ty if it wasn't for Hottie or something that Hottie is doing that she has access to, right? So, you know, basically he's like, look, I'm gonna prove it to you, whatever, just go on my Facebook. And so she goes on his Facebook and he goes live, and basically he's talking about how this girl is Boston, you know, leave him alone, and he's into his girl, or not his girl, I'm sorry. What did he call Ty? So that already shows you like where his mentality is, right? This grown man making these statuses and talking about these women giving him money and that, you know what I'm saying? It was so disgusting, and it really kind of shows you the kind of person that he is. And so Ty is like really upset because now she's feeling played too, because she said she's giving this man $15,000, $15K, and you have 3 children. That's $5,000 more, because people always say, well, I already have a saving for my kids. Well, that was $5,000 more that you could have put away for each child. So don't give me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely crazy. So now she's all upset, and she's like, well, forget about him. I'm going to focus all my attention on BB, which is the other guy in prison that she knows. But at least I think maybe she knew him before he went to jail. But from what it sounds like, he's never getting out. So why focus all of your attention there? Next thing we know, you know, she's in her car, new scene, and she's in her car and she's like super pissed off, and she's getting out the car and she's mad, and she's walking up and she's looking for her homegirl. And it turns out that basically Boston posted her nudes online, like in a live or on Instagram or something. And here's the thing. One more time, the only place she could have gotten those was from Hottie. Like I said, Hottie's in the middle. Hottie is the linchpin that's holding this bullshit together. You know what I'm saying? And Ty is, letting the producers know, like, hey, this is me. I'm pissed off. If I'm about to go to jail today because, she's releasing my nudes and this is ridiculous. And like I said, clearly Boston has access not only to his phone book or his phone numbers or his phone bill, but she has access to his Facebook Messenger, because that's where Ty said that she was sending these private pictures. So then we finally meet, I think her name is Kyoka. So Kyoka is Hottie's cousin, and she is the one that hooked the two of them up together. Now, Kyoka's kind of like, hey, I don't really know Boston like that. He had me call her once and connect them on a 3-way call. She's really trying to stay out of the mess, but at the same time, she calls Boston for Ty so that they can meet up and discuss this situation. And Ty is letting us know that she really wants to bash this girl's head in, but at the same time, she really feels like they need to have a woman-to-woman. And I don't know why, but I really feel like it's going to be more of the former than the latter. So we shall see. The episode ends where basically Boston is pulling into the parking lot, and we can see that on the closed circuit TV. We see Ty get up and run out the door like ready for action. So I guess we'll find out what's going on next week. Man, these people are wild, dude. They are so wild. And I can't say it enough how freaking crazy they are. Like, I don't know who's crazier, these people or the 90 Day Fiance people. Like, they're neck and neck, okay? But like I said, we're going to find out what's going on next week. I guarantee you it is going to be messy. It is going to be ghetto. It is going to be loud. And I am going to be here for every minute of it. So please, please, please join me for that next review. Thank you very much, Looky Loos, for tuning in to this one. I am Ashley Quinn. Before you go, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Now, there's also a bell that you can hit and get notifications for whenever I post a new video. Hope to see you soon. You guys take care.